Alright, because I was here and there, I forgot to go back on one thing. I talked about religion a lot on the last clip, that I forgot to go back to tell you the difference of spiritual. Now, spiritual people believe what they can see and touch and what's around all the time. It's a little bit like science, right? As they want to see an evidence. A little bit like a witch that reads, or a warlock, good one or bad, that reads a book or puts some stuff together and creates their religion, their miracle. So they can go, what? Right? And someone turns into a fucking frog. Well, there you go. That's how they work. They've got something to work on, or something happens, or they get a trigger, they get a number, they get guided. Right? They see guidance constantly. It's constantly there. It's nothing that you have to wait for. Right? That's spiritual. Right? You can put spiritual and religion together because religion is fake. Right? Spiritual is. Right? I know I can do this. Right? Sometimes I can't explain it. I just did that. I did, and it fucking worked, mate. Can you do that? Maybe it's in my blood, right? But it's something we can look at. It's something that we can see, and it happens. Right? Spiritual. Right? People see, shit, you see that shadow? They're around. Something's around. That's ghost. Ghost is connected to the spiritual, connected to the realm, connected to religion, and to a place of heaven. See, religion and heaven, right, that could actually not even be a place after death. Heaven could be when you pass this test, which is a place like heaven. There's no worries, no diseases. They fix all that. You don't have to worry about anything. And if someone's violent, they'll get put in their place. And so you can just go study, just do what you need to do. When it comes to housing and your food and your water, don't worry about it. And if the weather comes in, we've got that sorted. We've got the buildings that can handle everything. We've been here for a while. We upgraded just like information, right? That's heaven. Plenty of animals around, nothing to worry about. Just go study. Isn't that heaven? Huh? You can create that yourself. Right? That's where you actually start to thrive in what I believe better than bullying, because bullying you can still thrive and take and steal and dominate and whip. But we see what happens in wars and how bullying created shit of stuff, right? It created, but it created shit of stuff, then people getting paid. Right? And they talk about that when it comes to the pyramids made and that. And they go, oh, how could it be slaves, right? You get whipped. How could you make something so perfect? Right? So when it comes to spiritual, we've got equipment that we're trying to study spiritual, as we've got phenomenons happening all the time. Now those spiritual things could be in your head, right? And so all we've got is stories of these phenomenons that we constantly have. One thing that we have that a lot of people like to talk about, why I wanted to check out that area, but it doesn't have a very good pass. But it proves that that it's real and that you can use it at any time, right? It's like tapping into Bluetooth. It's always been there, right? But these people use it for the negatives, like using Bluetooth without ever telling everyone. And everyone's using it. You could do that. It's the same thing of knowing something or tapping into something, right? Or having a weapon or a device that can do that. You can keep it to yourself, or you spread it out. And when it comes to religion, religion teaches you that it's best to spread it out. Spiritual doesn't teach you that. Spiritual is just spiritual, right? And you got numbers and you got guidelines. Those guidelines, you can line them up with sayings because the numbers are always there. So if something's always there in a pattern, then you can create sayings for that pattern. And that's why a lot of spiritual numbers, if you look them up, they're not all the same. You can make whatever you want. You can make your own spiritual 25, right? And see what that does for you. Right? As spiritual people have done that to make a story to show you, and which they keep doing now, making new cards, because that's the same way when it goes to make the cards to connect the spirit that's there and a force that's there. People use boards, right, and stuff like that. You're connecting to something, right? None of these been proven. They're all a hoax and stuff like that. Um, but it's always hanging around because mysterious things happen when people like to play in that area, right? Spiritual and cards and connecting, right? And if you can connect, you can make the card. But first, you've got to get the connection before you can do the cards. And that's spiritual, you see. Otherwise, it won't work for you. which is why they talk about it in that area, about the collective and stuff like that. As they're connecting into an energy, they can really tap themselves into like a Borg. And you got to watch that, because you still want, when you tap into something like using your phone, you still want to be you. Right? It's just another device. Don't turn it into it. Don't turn it into on your phone all the time. You can go down to the park with, you got a license, you got this, nothing's holding you back. Why are you on the phone? Right? Why are you meditating all day? Yeah, it looks like you got a bone and it feels good, but hey, you can do this. Right? So it's good to mix in things. I find the best things are things that you'll find that you mix in a lot of things, and you have the best life. You'll get bored. It's good that you got another way. You go do this, go do that. Otherwise, you may turn into something that you don't either. You get hooked. It's an addiction. It's what they call an addiction. So they bring up all the time in these readings about an addiction, and there's lots of them out there of what people could be addicted to. Right? A lot of people hear addictions, they think of food or drugs, but addiction comes in phones, overspending, can't help but not get a discount, buying things you don't need just because you like looking at stuff. They can turn into addictions, and when you buy things too much because you like looking at things, and no matter what it is, you become a hoarder. Right? Never have plans. I like it. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. But that's the difference. And then when you try to mix them two together, they have their own religion. Will go, yeah, we're spiritual, but we don't see it in this way and that way. We know that they're there, but you can't contact them like this. You have to do it this way. That's their opinion of what I'm talking about, where you can put it together. And they've got a story of where they started, where that happened, where they talked to someone and something connected to them. They said, leave that town. It's bad town. Can't you see around you? You can't help them. Leave them. Don't look back. You will turn to stone, right? Or you'll burn up. Huh? And then they had a story that happened like it's like looking in the future, tarot readers, stuff like that, psychics. I mean, a little similar to the tarot readers. Right? Trying to use that energy, but the future's never written, so you can never be onto it. That's why you always hear when they think they are, because something happened earlier. Oh shit, I got that right, but I didn't know until then. But I know now. But they still don't know the future. It's never written. Right? It gives you guidelines, and that's why we connect and have body expressions. They're guidelines of the future, of connecting and what you can do next. It's all around us. But anyway, I'm going to leave there. Have a good one, and see you later.